StraighTAllDay.com. Learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that, Dre? That is go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is how to get your focus back. If you have lost it, here's how to get it back. But before we get into that, let me tell everybody, I send out a text message every single day, free of charge. This text is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day. So now that I know you want this text, let me tell you what I call it. I call it the Daily Motivation. And I will send this to your phone every single morning, free of charge, normal texting rates apply. All you have to do to receive it is text me at my number. Text me right now at the following number, 305-384-6894. And every day when the Daily Motivation comes out, starting tomorrow morning, you'll be getting this message straight to your phone. It does exactly what I told you it does. Just text me right now. The number is down below in the description of this episode. Secondly, people sometimes ask, Dre, do you have any type of courses? Do you have any next step after the books and after the podcast? Do you do any coaching? Do you do any training? Is there any way I can get access to you at a deeper level than what I listen to on the podcast or when I watch you on YouTube or getting the text and things like that? The answer is, of course, I have a deeper level. There's always another level. And that other level is what I call Work on Your Game University. All right, that is where you get direct learning and direct training from Professor Emeritus Dre Baldwin. That's me. All you got to do to become a member of Work on Your Game University is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. We got levels. There's levels to this shit. All right, we got levels. We got the Bulletproof Bulletin and the Black Book. Those are two physical mailings that I send out every single month. Yes, physical, to your actual doorstep. You get actual mail from me, not email, actual mail from me every single month when you're a member of the university. There are two physical documents that I send to you every single month, the Bulletproof Bulletin and the Black Book. You're watching on video, you can see the Black Book over my left shoulder right here and the Bulletproof Bulletin right there over my right shoulder, at least the latest versions of them as of this recording. Every month is a new one. So you'll get those every month when you're a member. You also can get access to all of the courses and all of the trainings to take a la carte at your own pace. There's a level for that. And also, if you would like to work with me directly, where you get actual on calls with me, you have my number, not my text number, but a different number where you can actually message me and send messages back and forth with me, have live communication with me, get on Zoom calls with me, get direct one-on-one coaching or group coaching from me, all of that. There's a level for that as well. You go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. We make it so simple. You can see all of these right there laid out, what I just said visually. Just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, and that's where you take your next step. All that said, let's get into the topic, how to get your focus back. Definition of focus is the center of interest or activity. Now, we know focus is important over here at Work on Your Game because it's one of our 5 forms of investment, along with time, money, attention, and energy, all covered in episode 609. If you haven't listened to that yet, go to workonyourgamepodcast.com, or it may be linked down below in the description to this episode. So if you have ever lost your focus or any time in the future you find yourself losing focus, here's what you're going to do to get it back. Okay, so you can keep this as a handy reference guide. You can kind of use this as back in the days. You wouldn't have to do this now because we have smartphones. But back in the days, I remember when I went overseas, probably the first 3 or 4, maybe 3, 4, or 5 times that I traveled overseas to play basketball, because I never went overseas on a vacation until after basketball. But first 3 or 4 times, I would go to the bookstore and I would buy a pocket dictionary for whatever country that I was going to. So when I went to Lithuania, I bought one. I went to Germany, I had one. When I went to, what's the other place I went to? Mexico, I didn't really need one. Mexico, I could pick up on the Spanish. There's another place that that's escaping me right now. But anyway, first couple, when I went to Croatia, I had one. So what I would do is have this pocket dictionary. Some of you don't even know what this is. It's like this little small book that can fit in your pocket that any words you're looking for. So if you're trying to find a bathroom, but you don't know how to say bathroom in the native language, you look up bathroom, and then it tells you the word bathroom in the language of whatever country that you're in. So then you can use that to kind of get around. Nowadays, you probably wouldn't need that anymore, simply because you could just open up your phone and there are apps that translate stuff. So you can actually say it into your phone or type it, and then it'll tell you it, and it'll give you it'll say it. It'll tell you how to say it, how to pronounce the word and all that. Back in the days, we were scraping by when we had to walk, 3 feet, and we had to walk through 3 feet of snow barefoot up hills to get to school and back in the morning, and then do the same thing back at night. We didn't have all that technology. But the whole point of me giving that digression there is that this can be a handy pocket dictionary for you if you ever happen to lose your focus, even if you have not lost your focus right now. So keep in mind what I'm telling you here today, even if this is not an immediate need, because at some point you will need this. Point number one, topic once again is how to get your focus back. Number one, remember, the majority is always wrong. The majority is always wrong. So whatever you see everybody, quote unquote, doing, don't do that. Whatever everybody is doing, don't do it. All right. How does this apply to focus, though? Dre, you get the point, but Dre, what does that have to do with focus? Well, here it is. Whatever everybody else is putting their focus on, don't focus on that. All right. So whatever you see everybody else focusing on, don't focus on that. Okay. This is a simple hack. Or put your focus on it. If you do focus on it, here's the reason why you would focus on it. Just for long enough so you can see what it is, and then you can go look for the opposite. That's the only reason you look at it. Only reason I pay attention to what everybody else is paying attention to, quote unquote, everybody else. And so I know what everybody else is looking at, and then I know all I'm going to do is look for the opposite of that, because I know I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Remember what I told you in episode number 1025. Opportunities are always in the opposites. The easiest way to find the opposites is to look around at the masses, the average people out there, and know that they're always wrong, because the masses are by definition average. And in the work on your game world, average is wrong. Okay. So any of you want to be average over here, you're wrong by definition. In the work on your game world, average is wrong. The masses are average by definition. So anything that they're doing, you don't want to do that, because they're on their way to being average. So if you don't want to live in Averageville, look at the average people, the masses of people, the average everyday person, and don't do whatever it is that they're doing. Everybody got that? I just broke that down in a logical, objective way for all you to understand why the masses are always wrong. Again, I'm using it as a tongue-in-cheek way. Again, because I'm assuming any of you listen to a show called Work on Your Game, you're interested in personal and professional development. I mean, you're interested in intentionally improving yourself. And I didn't know if all you noticed, but most people ain't interested in that. So that's a lot different than the average individual. Because I know that what I talk about here, when we put our hair Work on Your Game, this ain't for everybody. All right. This is not for everybody. So being that you're one of the select few that is serious about improving yourself, here are the things that you can do. A simple hack is just look around at most people who ain't even interested in that and just don't do what they do. Actually do the opposite of what they do. Most of the time you'll end up right. It doesn't mean every single time you're going to be right, but in the aggregate, in the long run, you'll be right. This is a good place to get started, even if you know absolutely nothing about anything. And what happens is, if you are you find yourself following the masses or doing what the masses do, you get into this habit of drifting, as Napoleon Hill had, quote unquote, the devil explain in his book, Outwitting the Devil. If you have not read that book, Outwitting the Devil, I have mentioned it more than once here on this feed. I'm mentioning it again. Go look this book up. It's called Outwitting the Devil. It is written by Napoleon Hill. This book was not released till 2011, even though Napoleon Hill had been dead for decades. Because Napoleon Hill, the things that he wrote in that book, he challenged some industries, namely the political industries, the governmental political industries, the education industries, and the religious sectors. He challenged them in such a way that he feared for retribution had he released this book while he was alive. So it was held on to by his family and his heirs until many years after he died, and they finally put it out in 2011. Read this book. Go get the book. Again, it's called Outwitting the Devil. I should have got an affiliate link for that. But anyway, topic of drifting, how to defeat the habit of drifting. I talked about in episode 2386. If you did not listen to that, go listen. Episode 1700, how to stop drifting, have clear direction, and start hustling. And episode 1037, how to stop drifting through life. So this topic has been addressed. If you have not listened to those episodes, they should be down below in the description, or just go to workonyourgamepodcast.com. Point number 2, topic once again is how to get your focus back. Number 2, obtain clarity. You need clarity for what the hell you are doing. What does clarity mean? I think all you understand this word without me having to give the definition. But let me give you the definition anyway. Clarity means the quality of being coherent and intelligible, or the quality of transparency or purity, meaning everybody gets it. That's what clarity means. It should be very clear. We get it. We can see right through exactly what it is you're trying to say. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, my son, who is, as of today's recording, by the time you hear this, it will probably be close to his first birthday. But as of this recording, my son is about 10 and a half months of age, and he is starting to walk. He's walking now. So he can actually walk. He's not great at it. He's not perfect at it, but he can walk. He can walk a nice little distance by himself without falling down and all of that. And yesterday I took him down to the amenities floor in my building, and we were just walking around the perimeter of the fitness space in the building. It was a very nice space. And the challenge with this space is that it has a lot of glass walls. The fitness area has a lot of glass walls, and these glass is like pristine clean and pristine clear and clean. So if you don't know where this story is going, let me tell you, my son could not decipher the difference between open space and glass, and he actually walked into a glass wall and bumped his forehead on the glass wall because the glass is so damn clean he couldn't tell there was glass. So that's the whole, I'm telling you that to tell you this, okay? Clarity means you want to be so clear that little 10-month-old babies will walk straight into whatever it is you're saying because it's so clear they can't even tell if there's a solid object there. That's clarity. So for example, if you want to make more money, calculate the value of an hour of your time, an actual calculation with an actual number, not some random bullshit that you made up, or you're saying something dumb like my time is priceless. I get it that your time is priceless, but that's not what I mean when I ask you how much is an hour of your time worth. Remember, I sent a text message out to my text community and asked people, how much is an hour of your time worth? And I got a bunch of people who said their time is priceless. Like, your time is not actually priceless. All right? You're at work. Are you getting paid by the hour? Okay, how much are they paying you? Or is it priceless? Okay, that's how much your time is worth. That's how much you sold it for. So don't tell me your time is priceless. You're selling it for $20. All right, it's not priceless. And also that book that I mentioned, was that in yesterday's episode, and I mentioned No BS Time Management, book by Dan Kennedy. He gives you a formula for calculating how much your time is worth. I've also given you a formula in a previous episode of this show, which I'm not going to reference right here. Go get that book that I already mentioned to you and read it. And I will put together a new list of recommended books to read because I know I need to do that because I mentioned so many books here. If I just gave you a recommended reading list page, then it'd be easier for all of you. I used to have one on dreallday.com, but we changed servers over there. So I will put up a new version of that page in due time that will have links that you can just go straight and get the book, whether you want to get audio, physical, PDF, digital version, whatever. That is coming in due time. So if you don't see that list by the end of 2023, not by the time you hear this, but by the end of 2023, send me a message. Say, hey, Dre, what about that recommended reading list you mentioned? I will get that list done. So obtaining clarity, on the second point here. Find out exactly how much an hour of your time is worth, and then you will make value judgments about what is worth doing and what is not worth doing. That's what you need to do moving forward. So if you spend a lot of time scrolling through and looking at ass on Instagram, all right, don't lie to me about it. I know that you do. Somebody's looking at it. This is the reason why it keeps getting posted. Use the screen time app on your phone. See how much time that habit is actually costing you in actual dollars. Because when you know how much an hour of your time is worth, and you see how much time you're spending scrolling on the social media, you can see how much money social media is costing you. All right. So you see that? This is why you want to get clarity. See, when you have clarity, it's easy to make value judgments about things because you can see how much stuff is actually costing versus you guesstimating and just throwing things out there that sound good but mean nothing. So this clarity will help you make better decisions about what to do and what not to do. And it will help direct your focus much more accurately and consistently than you are directing it now. See, this is how it helps focus. The more clear you are, the easier it is to focus. The reason many people are unable to become and remain focused is simply because they have no clarity whatsoever on what to focus on or how much a lack of focus is actually costing them. They can guesstimate, but they have no real idea. When you know exactly how much a lack of focus is costing you, it's much easier to look at yourself and punch yourself in the face when you're not being as focused as you need to be, when you're not doing the things that you need to do. Everybody understand? If you pay attention to what I've said so far in this episode, you'll be able to get this clarity just from what I've shared just so far in the first 15 minutes of the show. If you didn't catch it, rewind back to the beginning of this episode and start it again from the top so you catch it because you were not paying attention. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to get your focus back. Number 3, simplify. It's easier to focus when you know exactly what you need to be doing right now, what you need to do next, so forth and so on. Focus is very easy when you have a simple plan of action and your plans are very clear. This is how all these points work together. This is what we call prioritization and also elimination. Simplification usually means eliminating things. Any of you who's done any writing or you ever studied writing or you ever been coached on writing or take a course on writing, you understand that there are two sides to writing. There's the creation. That's when you're putting the words actually on paper. And then there's the editing. that's when you're sharpening everything up and making it good. We understand that the creation part is addition, editing is subtraction. The editing process of any kind of writing, usually you are taking things off the page, not adding things onto the page. When I wrote my book, Work on Your Game, I wrote probably I was contracted in that book with the publisher. I was contracted to write, I believe it was 60,000 words or 65,000 words for the whole book. Ended up being about 60,000 words. My first draft of the book, Work on Your Game, was 250,000 words. So we went from 250,000 and we got it down to about 65,000. So about 75% of what I originally wrote, the first draft of that book, got cut out of the book in the editing process. And what was left are the words that are actually in the book, Work on Your Game. If you have not read that book, you can get it by going to workonyourgamebook.com. This is what simplification is about. It's about elimination, prioritizing what the most important stuff is and eliminating everything else. This is what the Aqua True water filters that you can get by going to workonyourgame.com/AT can do for you, is prioritizing the most pure stuff that's in the water that you drink and eliminating all the nasty stuff and whatever's in the tap water wherever you live, or the plastic bottles that you've been drinking out of. So you can stop ingesting plastic. It's about prioritization and elimination. All the best processes, prioritize and eliminate. Remember that the 80-20 principle says what? 80% of your results coming from 20% of your inputs. Simplification does not always mean doing less, though, however, people. It just means doing less at the same time. In other words, less multitasking and more focus on the task at hand. So you're not dividing your focus, as so many people have trained themselves to do these days. Don't divide your focus. Don't try to drive and read on your phone. It's a bad idea. Don't try to scroll through social media and checking your email and updating your website all at the same time. You're not doing any one of them as well as you could be doing. Simplification can simply mean focusing on getting one thing done every day that will make that day a success, instead of mandating that you get 17 things done every day to make the day a success. Which one is easier to do? One thing that is really important, or 17 things that are of questionable importance? I talk about scheduling out your days and how to do it. I give you a walkthrough of how to do it in the mental workbook, which you can see if you're watching on video right here over my left shoulder. You can get the mental workbook by going to workonmygame.com/workbook. And actually, you can get Work on Your Game and the mental workbook and Bulletproof Mindset and 30 Days of Discipline as part of the Mental Game Super Duper Bundle if you get either one of my free books, The Third Day or The Mirror of Motivation. The links to both of those books are down below in the description to this video. The challenge with simplification here is that the one thing that you get done every day needs to be something that actually moves the needle and advances you forward on a consistent basis. It can't just be one piece of bullshit. It has to be one thing that actually matters in your life and your business and moving you forward. It can't just be one thing that keeps you in the same spot. So you can't say my one thing is, I need to fold the laundry. I did it. All right. That one thing doesn't change your situation. It keeps you in the same spot. So the one thing you do every day needs to be something that actually moves your business forward. And often the challenge for entrepreneurs to actually choose this, and professionals as well who work at jobs where you have some autonomy as far as how you spend your time, is that often we choose as our one thing something that we know we can do rather than the thing that we need to do that's actually going to move us forward. Because the thing we need to do to move us forward is usually a daunting task. Usually it's challenging. It's usually going to take some effort, some time, some work, and we're going to do some things that make us uncomfortable. But that's the thing that's going to move us forward. It pushes us out of our comfort zone. But you see how all these pieces work together. The best way to make sure you're getting that best one thing every single day is to have some other people around you. This is why you invest in coaching. This is why you invest in joining masterminds. This is why you get training, so that you have other people who can hold you accountable to making sure you're getting done the right things every single day, not just the things that make you feel good or the things that might look good or allow you to kind of masturbate on maintenance. Let's recap today's class, which is how to get your focus back. Definition of focus is a center of interest or activity. And knowing that focus is one of our 5 forms of investment, this is a very important piece. Use this, keep this for even if you're not of lost focus right now, at some point you will be. Use this as a reference guide. Number 1, remember that the majority is always wrong. So whatever everyone is paying attention to, do not do that. If you pay attention to it only so you can see what everybody else is doing and then go do the opposite of that. All right, because most people are drifters, as Napoleon Hill talked about, and not winning the devil. You want to do the opposite of drifting and be focused. Number 2, obtain clarity. If you want to make more money, calculate the value of an hour of your time, and then you will know how much your time wasting activities are actually costing you, so you can do less of those. You can make value judgments about what is worth doing and what is not worth doing. And that clarity will help you make a lot better decisions about where to move next, what to do, and what not to do. And point number 3, simplify. It's easier to focus when you know exactly what you need to be doing right now, what you need to do next, and so on. This is called prioritization and elimination. Remember the 80-20 principle? 80% of our results come from 20% of our inputs. And simplification does not necessarily mean doing less. It means just stop trying to do it all at the same time and stop spending your time and feeling like you're being productive simply because you're doing a bunch of things that don't really matter. You're doing a bunch of maintenance tasks or doing the chores. Like I say, entrepreneurs waste time on doing chores. Instead, focus on the few things that are essential that actually move you forward, that are usually going to require you to do some things that you're not comfortable doing. And those are the exact things that you need to be doing. Those are the things that are going to move your business forward. And you already know that. You just been procrastinating on doing them. This is why you need a coach, because a coach will help push you out of that comfort zone and get you to do the things that you already know you need to do, but you simply have not been doing. All that said, text me, let me know the best insight you got from today's class at my number, which is 305-384-6894. And go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can have me as your coach. You can have me as your trainer. You can have me in your ear on a consistent basis, giving you my best trainings, my best courses, my best frameworks on mindset, strategy, systems, execution for your personal and your business life, all at the university. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all